The greatest influence of my life was not always there around me. Watching him develop and grow from a distance is what makes me appreciate him so much. Today I'll be giving my tribute speech about my uncle. While I do not know my uncle's full story, I'll be telling you a little bit about his past, some of the sacrifices and choices he made, and where he's at now as a result of that. Growing up, I was not allowed around my uncle much, nor did I see him often at family events. This was because, little to my knowledge, he was suffering from addiction of both alcohol and other substances. And he was also suffering from some of the consequences of the choices he had made previously. While in his hometown, he was arrested often enough he knew what day of the week his hometown's mugshots would be on the front page of the newspaper, and he would smile for those mugshots. He had had over 7 DUIs. He had totaled every single vehicle he had ever owned, or driven, as a matter of fact. And this led him to transport himself to and from work on a bicycle, where his most well-known story of him getting a DUI on a bicycle comes from. And in all actuality, it was just a public intoxication while he was on a bicycle. He went to pedal away and fell over. He often worked at bars, and he was a cook at bars, and cooking is what he's done all his life. But eventually he had hit a rock bottom for himself. This left him with a choice to rather get help or die. He knew what was coming. And so with my grandparents' help, he got into a 90-day treatment facility over an hour away from his hometown and all of his friends who were not good influences on him. And he showed dedication to that. While he was at this 90-day treatment facility, he started working at Pizza Hut and creating a stable situation for himself after graduating, moving into just a one-bedroom apartment with still no vehicle. After about 4 or 5 months of showing dedication to both staying sober and his job, my grandparents sold him a vehicle, where he then started working on himself even more because he had more available to him. Fast forward to only 3 years after the Pizza Hut job, he is now the head cook at a very well-known steakhouse, and he is a homeowner and owns multiple boats. I oftentimes go fishing and hang out with him. He's very funny to be around. But watching him grow and transform at the age of almost 40 made me realize that I do not have to have my life figured out fresh out of high school. And at the same time, in his younger years, he also gave me an example of what not to do. Most people's greatest influences were a good influence on them from the time that they were young, and mine's just simply the opposite of that. I was able to watch my influence grow over time, and that's why he has such an influence on me and why he was worth dedicating my tribute speech to.